welcome to episode 2 of Let's Ride by Vernon Snow MX. In this episode, we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to do a review of the 2017 Timbersled Long Track, and we're going to take a look at these swanky, brand new heated gloves from Choko. Here we are with a review of the Timbersled Long Track. It happens to be a limited edition, but really, I think it's really just a matter of focusing on Timbersled Long Track. First thing we note about this is, and we've had these for years, the changes are incremental from year to year. This is a proven design.
This is a tried and true technology, yeah, for sure.
And every year it comes out, it's a little bit better, but it's not completely different every year. So we trust this chassis.
Absolutely.
And it's proven to be durable as well. We've had this, well, this is a new kit for this year. It's been out on 15 rides or so. What have you got over there for damage?
We took a pretty good hit last weekend, and when we got back to the shop, it was just a matter of filing it down. But if there was a dent or a serious bend, you just pop a panel off, bend it straight, put it back on, and you're good to go.
We've heard some really good stories of people completely tacoing these things. Pull it apart, smash it, maybe even a little bit of welding, put it back together, and you're good to go again. So that's really comforting when you're spending that much money on a track.
Absolutely.
The next thing we've heard, we don't do our own installs. We get Ian at Rider's Edge to do them. But he's come back to us with some feedback that these are really easy to set up. Now, he's been doing it for years, so easy for Ian doesn't mean easy for us, but right. He's comparing it to the other kits, and he says a Timbersled kit goes on. It's really straightforward. It's a little bit more complicated when you get the rear shock in here because you have more stuff to kind of deal with, but really, generally speaking, an easy kit to install.
It does bring a quick point forward too. If you're looking at buying one of these kits, it's not as simple as pulling the rear wheel and the front wheel off and stuffing this stuff underneath it. It'll work, but it won't work well at all. There are some fine-tuning, there's some finite details that you need to take care of in order for these to work properly.
In fact, we're still tuning this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not entirely sold on how we have the front ski set up. We're still tweaking it a little bit, trying other bikes, other Timbersleds, and seeing how they have it set up. So yeah, it's not just a quick bolt it together and off you go.
But once you get it there, mamma mia.
So we're coming off of riding Timbersled short tracks for the last 3 years, and they've been fantastic. We're still riding in the same area. We're in the mountains, and they were great. But this year we committed to going to long tracks because we just thought the tracks could be better. Andrew, what are your impressions, short track versus long track so far?
What we're finding so far with the long track, it's a great chassis. It's maneuverable in the tight trees, and we're not trenching at all. This allows you to tractor around a little bit if you're trying to pick your line and figure out what your next move is going to be, where on the short track we often ended up sort of dancing on the track with the engine pin.
We certainly did auger in more in previous years with the short tracks for sure. And I think we're pushing higher gears now. We got more flotation, more traction, get her up into third gear, and we are flying. Like today we were going so fast. Now we have hero conditions this year. The snow is not bottomless. We're set up really well, so we're just flying everywhere. So it's not a perfect comparison. We need to wait till we get some deep fluffy stuff, another 2 feet of pure fluff. Then we'll tell if this thing is really worth the extra money, and
we'll come back and fill you guys in when that happens, which we hope will be any day now.
Right. Other things with the track here, so we do have the paddles on the outside are tapered, so that when we're on the hard pack, the bike leans over more nicely than our old kits.
And it's noticeable difference when you're cornering. It just feels like it wants to lay over and carry you through that corner.
Absolutely. Okay, I think that's it for the track. I guess one last thing I really do appreciate, they haven't changed it at all over the years, but the rear handles on the back of the track are great for lifting. They don't seem to get too clogged up with snow, and you can absolutely tow a snow bike off of the back of this. In fact, we've had to.
Been there, done that.
All right, well, let's move onward to the ski. So as for the ski and the whole front end, that's really quite a difficult thing to analyze, and we've been all over the map this year as to how happy or sad we are with our setup. It's bike dependent. This is a track bike. Behind us we have Twink, which is an FE 350. It's an enduro bike. It feels completely different in the front end.
Totally different.
We just spent the last couple hours beating up Warren's bike here. And
it was awesome.
It felt better. It felt better than this bike. So we're going to try and figure out what's really the difference between the geometry of the bike and maybe some of the parts that we've added, and try to get this to have a little bit more of a positive ski response. Now, we were doing some really tight turns, some donuts on this bike, which is our worst one for front ski. And once you get it in the track, you can really lay it over, and it feels great. It's for those little tiny turns, whether you're doing slalom turns or you're in the trees, it was really tight and you're just trying to,
cut it
hard and smush it. It starts to wash out and then it hooks up. So it's a little bit unnerving. It's not confidence inspiring. This bike's got a better feel to it, and one of the other brands has a better feel to it, and we'll talk about that later. Other things about the ski, what do we have to say? We're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
It's rider dependent, snow dependent, bike dependent.
I am confident that this ski is a good ski. I felt it today on this bike, and Brock Hoyer just crushed it at the X Games on a Timbersled with a Timbersled
Yesterday.
ski. Yesterday.
As it happens.
So I'm confident that it's just us getting this bike tuned and dialed.
It's just our setup. It's not quite right yet. So Andrew, no matter what kit you buy, when you buy it, whether it's a Timbersled, a Yeti, Camso, you're marrying yourself to that company to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
You're putting your stake in them. So Timbersled, owned by Polaris, huge company, lots of backing. They're not going to go bankrupt anytime soon.
And lots of availability. When you break something, it's easy to get
There are
parts for this thing. And they've been around, so they've got an established system in place. And yeah, there's no panic about trying to find a bit or a piece for what.
Well, and the kits haven't changed drastically from year to year, so they might not have to inventory as many parts.
True.
It's, you know, some of these bits and bobs on here are going to be the same as they've been since the beginning, or they were the same last year. So that's kind of cool. On the negative side, big company. You might not get their attention as much if you need something. I've heard a little bit from the dealers where, you know, these guys are a big company and they kind of throw their weight around, and maybe they're not as easy to deal with as some of the smaller startup companies. So we're not saying anything negative. It's just an observation. We've felt it a little bit ourselves. Some of our shops have felt it as well. But you know, great kit, and they're going through the growing pains just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Snowbiking is exploding. Everyone's trying to figure it out. Part of it's the kit, part of it's customer service though, and that's something to keep in mind. Now we need to move on to what else are we going to talk about here?
Who should buy this kit?
Yeah, who does this kit made for? And it's kind of an interesting discussion, right?
Yeah, it really is.
I would say this is a great kit for a beginner.
Yeah.
And why? Why is that? You can afford to make mistakes.
Yeah. Lots of flotation. It's very forgiving. And then as you progress, the track is going to progress with you too. I mean, we're not beginner riders, and it's great to have that footprint in the back end.
Absolutely. And where if you're on a short track, you have to be more decisive. You have to be on the gas more. You have to keep your momentum. So this allows you to be a beginner and still do fine. Now, if you are an advanced rider, as I would kind of put us in that category, this track is for you as well.
Yeah.
Because the places we're going this year are awesome. And we're going there fast and stylish and comfortable, and it's fantastic. So this is a track for everybody.
If you're from Manitoba or Saskatchewan or somewhere in the flatlands of the USA, probably not the kit. If you're going to be riding on lakes, fields, banging your way through ditches and having lots of fun, buy a short track or buy an SX, buy the skinny track. But this is a lot of real estate to have hanging out the back door if you're just going to be pounding your way through ditches all year.
Now, with that said, I do want to make a point. Back in the day when we had short tracks, we were saying, oh, we didn't want to get a long track because we're going to be in the tight trees. Those long tracks never keep up with us. Forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no truth to that whatsoever. We're kicking our old selves' ass on these big long tracks.
Yeah.
The only place I'd say this long track might be a negative, and we haven't ridden it yet, is in the spring.
Yeah.
Once everything's really set up, you're around the trees, and there's lots of side hills and stuff like that. Maybe the short track's going to feel more nimble, and this might
Could
feel
start
like
to
a bit
push
of a
us
tank.
around a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But fantastic track. Let's do a little quick wrap up. If you own one of these already, or you're planning on getting one of these, they're fantastic. This is a good, solid pickup truck. You know, your Chevy, your Ford, your Toyota, whatever it might be. This thing will get you there. It's reliable, not finicky at all.
Proven.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're thrilled with this kit, really. We're happy with it in the last 3 years that we had it. In the short track, we're happy with it in this long track version. I give this thing 2 thumbs up for sure.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for sure. In the truck out here, we had a little bit of a disagreement. I was saying if I wanted to save some money on this setup, I'd lose this TSS rear shock. And I was coming from that standpoint, and you were kind of like, I don't know, I really feel it on the trail, and it's good. But I wasn't saying it's not worth the $1,500, but if I had to shave something off of this whole bike, save $1,500, I'd let that guy go. I wouldn't be as smooth on the trail. I'd make sure I had a nice cushy seat like the one from Seat Concepts, but I wouldn't give up all these other bits and bobs that I have if I had to choose.
One man's opinion.
And of course, we're going to be getting into a Yeti review too. I'm also kind of comparing this to the Yeti shock, where I think the Yeti shock is, if we're talking about comfort on the trail and performance on the trail, that Yeti shock rips. It's super cool. So I may be a little bit biased just because I like that shock so much.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, do we have anything else to say?
That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're thinking about this kit, like we said a couple of seconds ago, definitely 2 thumbs up. Timbersled knows what they're doing. They've got a great distribution system in place to make sure that they keep you up and running, and it's proven technology. It's a top-notch piece of gear.
That's right, and stay tuned for our review of the mate to this, but in the Yeti. We're looking forward to spending another 5 or 10 minutes talking about that one too.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Well, that's the Vernon Snow MX Timbersled Long Track review. I think we covered just about all the topics we wanted to, except I did notice we missed one, and that was the ability to side hill on this thing.
Which is pretty critical in the world of a snowbike.
It is. We do a lot of it.
A lot of it. And that long track over what we rode last year in the short track, it's got a great footprint. It holds the bike true. When you smash the gas, it doesn't start to try and wiggle away from you when you're on the side hill.
And I find when you're going along the side hill and you smash the gas and you turn uphill, it's really well behaved and just off you go.
Point and shoot.
It's a lot of fun. So if you guys have any other comments about the Timbersled Long Track, add them to the comments for the video. We'd always like to hear things that we missed or things you disagree with.
Please
or
do.
Other things you think we should check out. So let's move on now to a quick review of the Choko heated gloves.
All right.
They're awesome. Ah, so warm. Another use for heated gloves, heating up your face at the end of the day when you're cold and chilly. These are electric gloves by Choko. Never had a pair of these before. Kind of cool. Red lights on this one means it's on high power. Blue lights on this one, medium power. There's also a green light for low power. There you go. These are really cool. Wore them all day, and they kept my hands nice and toasty. One of the things I really appreciated after we got everything unloaded and we got all dressed, my hands were kind of cold because I was doing stuff around the truck. I already had these turned on high power. Jam my hands in there, nice and toasty. So that was the first treat coming out of the gates. Next thing was when I wore these and I'm hanging onto my bike, they're not so big and bulky that I still had great control over the clutch. I wasn't hanging on to this great big thing with oven mitts. I don't wear these under there. I'm just wearing these right now. Next thing is heated grips versus heated gloves. Well, we need to do more testing, but I got to hop on Warren's bike this afternoon. He's running those Oxford heated grips, which we chose not to run this year because they keep breaking. And the other thing is I was reminded as soon as I hopped on Warren's bike is the grip diameter is huge and it's more fatiguing. It just doesn't feel as good. I wanted to hop back on my bike again. So you can ditch the Oxfords, which are expensive and they're going to break repeatedly, and we know this from experience. And you can get some Choko gloves. So far, the testing's been great. Look forward to playing around with this some more. It wasn't super cold today, I will say that. I didn't have them on high power though, so I'm looking forward to some cooler weather, some deep snow, crank these puppies up and have a lot of fun. One last thing, because I know I'm rambling a little bit. The length of these is great. It comes up well up over my sleeve. Nice cinching. No snow's getting in there. So far, 2 thumbs up. Get back to you later in the season. Next, we have a little bit of an unplanned segment. Andrew, you broke a little bit of bike stuff, broke a little bit of your body, and we have some tape from you in the afternoon as you were limping back around the truck. Let's roll that now.
All right.
So, did a number on Helga and on me today in the bush. Smashed the right shroud off, dancing through the trees. So she's looking like a bit of a snaggletooth right now. And shortly thereafter, punched myself through a tree well. The bike stopped immediately. I flew over the bars, smashed my left leg. Actually tore my fancy loaner suit from Choko. Sorry, boys. But happy that I'm wearing leg armor, because if I wasn't, I'd probably have a busted leg right now. So now I'm just going to go home and suck my thumb and have a glass of scotch. Forget about today.
So Andrew, in the video you said that you were going to go home and have a scotch, and how did that work out for you?
I may have had a couple of glasses of scotch that night.
I think there was tequila involved as
There
well.
may have been some tequila that night too.
Anyways, he made it into work today. We missed a whole day of filming. That's how much painkiller he needed.
Yeah.
But he's back now. But you're still in pain.
I gotta say, like, we've taken all of our armor that we wear riding dirt, and we've translated that to riding these bikes in the snow. And I am so happy to have been wearing that stuff. We wear full knee guards or knee braces. Mine are aluminum, and I actually chipped the aluminum knee brace in 2 spots when I hit the handlebars when I went over. If I didn't have that on, I can't imagine what would have happened to this general area.
You probably wouldn't be riding this week.
No.
So yeah, think about it. We're spending a lot of money on this stuff, but to me, a missed ride, a missed 5 rides, a missed 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You can't really put a value on that. So we spend lots of money on armor, and we think that other people Many
should.
do,
Yep.
but I think we're probably the most heavily armored guys out there.
We're juggernauts,
Yeah.
basically.
Anyways, something to think about. That's it for episode 2 of Let's Ride by Vernon SnowMX. We have another episode coming up really soon. We're going to do the same sort of review, but on the Yeti Long Track. We have one of those too. We love it. We have lots to say about that one as well. And other episodes coming up this year as well. Don't even know what we're going to talk about. It's a lot of fun just kind of rolling with it.
Absolutely. If you guys like what you saw here today and are curious to see what else we've been doing video-wise, check us out online, vernonsnowmx.com. You can see what we've done year to date. You can also see previous years, even back to the GIMP days when we were riding 2-plankers.
Yeah, this is actually our 4th year of filming. This is by far the highest production value we've had yet. But we started off with just a couple of dorks with GoPros. Now we're a couple of dorks with, I don't know, a little bit
Lots
of
of
camera
stuff.
gear. Anyways, that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.